All
All right. I call the meeting of the Rochelle Park Land Use Board open at 6 p.m. Open Public Meetings Act, PL 1975, Chapter 231. According to the Open Public Meetings Act, this meeting of June 26, 2025 was published in the Bergen Record and Herald News and the Our Town on April 3rd, 2025. In addition, a copy of this notice is and has been available to the public and is on file in the office of the municipal clerk. Can we please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Mr. Secretary, if you could do a roll call, please.
Christina Holes. Krupen Dudia.
Here.
Christine Muller.
Here.
Eddie Aboud.
Here.
William Coleman.
Here.
Mayor Judge Crivello. Committeeman Chewinski. Andrew Mattson.
Here.
Chairperson Warren.
Here.
Sean Smith.
Here.
Debbie Kadira. Robert White. Louis Mazzone.
Here.
Okay.
Ms. Holtz is here.
Ms. Holmes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Sorry.
Okay, next up on the agenda, we have several minutes to approve, so I'm going to go one by one through them. The first set of minutes is from January 23rd. Mr. Secretary, are the people who were at that meeting present to vote on these minutes? And is there a copy of them?
So I gave a copy to the members that were here for that hearing because they're the ones that are eligible to vote. I believe I have an extra copy here.
So are they here? Are they present today?
Yes, there are two members that were here for the January 23rd meeting that are eligible to vote on that.
So when we do the vote, you're just going to call those two people? We're not going to call the rest of the board?
Correct. I would
Okay.
call just the members that
Who
were
are they?
present. That is Christina Holes and Christine Muller. Those are the two people that are here today that are eligible to vote for the January 23rd Planning Board previous minutes that were not approved.
You are both prepared to?
I didn't read them.
Yes. So we'll have to adjourn those minutes for the next meeting?
It's up to you. I mean, unless you want me to sit here reading them for a while.
Do you have a copy of them?
Yes.
Okay.
Should be coming in.
So we will adjourn those till the July meeting only, okay?
Okay.
Do I have to make a motion to adjourn those?
Sure.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the January 23rd meeting minutes for the July 2025 meeting. Is there a second?
I'll
Eddie?
second.
Second, Eddie Abud will second
All
it.
right, so I need to sign.
Here, you know.
All those-
I got it.
And all those in favor of adjourning those minutes, say aye. Any noes? Okay, so next set of minutes,
All right, so the next set of minutes would have been,
March 20th.
yes, March 20th, and that would be
Everyone who's here,
correct,
who's present.
correct.
All right, so I'll make a motion to approve the March 20th. Can I please have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Dudia will second it. Roll call or all in favor, Mr. Cerny?
I would make sure that you call, are you sure that everybody on the dais is eligible to vote for those minutes?
I'm looking at it right now, of the people
Yes.
present, and yes.
Okay, then all in favor would work.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any noes? Okay, so the minutes are approved from March 20th. They should go on the website tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay. Next, we will be looking at the April 17th, 2025 minutes. I believe everyone who is here is eligible to vote on these minutes to approve. Can I get a motion from someone?
I'll make the motion.
Mr. Dudia will make the motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Mr. Abud will second it. All those in favor? Aye. Any noes? Okay.
Mr. Chairperson?
Yes.
I have to abstain, I was not at that meeting.
Thank you very much. Ms. Holtz, she'll abstain.
Thank
you. Thank you.
I have it here, and Sean.
And Sean
the
Smith.
other person who
Yes.
has to abstain. Everyone
Great.
else
Did you
is
abstain,
eligible.
Mr. Smith?
I'm abstaining now.
Thank you. Okay, these can be put onto the website
Absolutely.
tomorrow.
Yes.
Finally, we have our May 22nd minutes Crouppen cannot vote, Mr. Coleman cannot vote, and Mr. White, they should abstain from these minutes. Can I please get a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Ms. Holtz will make the motion. Can I have a second? Mr. Abud will second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any noes? And Crouppen, Mr. Coleman, could you just abstain verbally for me?
I'll abstain. I abstain.
Thank you very much. Okay, those can be put on the website tomorrow. Thank you very much for your help in getting those minutes approved and moved forward. We'll revisit the January 23rd one at our next meeting.
Absolutely.
Moving on with the agenda, we do have a space for public portion. This is for any resident who just has any concern before we get into business. Sometimes the business can be lengthy, and I know that might be residents here who have something they just want to ask the Land Use Board that doesn't pertain to anything we're talking about tonight. This is their opportunity to do so. So I have a motion to open to the public.
Make that motion.
Ms. Holtz, and I'll second that motion to the public. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. The public portion is open. The microphone is there. Please state your name and your address. Thank you. Is that on? Is that on, Mr. Kingma? The green light? Yeah, want to get that on? Yeah. There's a button there. If you want to try it, green light will go on. There we go. Go ahead, sir.
Got what I was going to say. Hey, Kingman Madison Ave, if I didn't say that already.
Thank you.
Yeah. When I looked at tonight's meeting notice, I noticed that the agenda is for June 25th, 2002.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Okay. Now, I was here at yesterday's meeting. One thing that I noticed, I wasn't sure about, so I reread last night, and then today I'd like to just mention it, is that I was talking about that 317-page document, which was a draft. And on, I think, page number 37 in paper, 39 on computer, I don't have it with me, there's a typo that's worth mentioning, and it could be cleared before the second reading next month by the town, if you agree, okay? In that one,
Mr. Lyden, please make note of this since you are the planner. Thank you.
Second on. All right.
What is the
page-
typo, Mr. Kingma?
What's that?
What is the typo that you're
On
mentioning?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
On that page, there's a graph, and it shows 3 different possible projects. And 2 of them have the correct address. The third one has the address of 370 West Passaic Street. I believe it should be 375. 370 is an actual building on the other side of the street. I don't think they're involved at all. So if you would look at the draft, and it's only a draft, all right.
Okay.
But also when I'm looking at this, I decided to look at the opening statement and whatever, because it says that the meeting was noticed in Bergen Record, Herald News, and Our Town on April 3rd, 2025. And I have a service where I can look up the Bergen Record legal notices, and I've checked and double-checked tonight, and it didn't show up on that particular service. And I can't check on the Our Town because my wife throws that out in like a week's time. And the service usually is pretty reliable because when I looked at April 4th, the meeting that you're going to hear tonight that was extended further was noticed. We knew there was an issue at the time, but that's not their fault. That was not the applicant's fault. That was like reorganization type of things that went on at the outside.
Mr. Kingma, what are you holding in your hand?
Oh, I blew up the
Oh, okay.
heading.
I was going to ask you, do you have a copy of that service thing you mentioned? And
Oh, no, that I don't. I have a sample of one of their notices, but
Can I see that? Can I have a copy of that?
I guess so.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Kingman. Okay, thank you.
And the rest is just junk. I should have talked
Got it.
about long ago.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, thanks very much. I have nothing else to add.
Mr. Kingman, I just want you to know, I assure you personally that we will look into this and make sure it's rectified properly.
Right.
Thank you.
If some reason or another the notice didn't get through or whatever, just say, oh, here's a reissue of the notice of the rest of the meetings or whatever. It's not a big deal.
I disagree with you. I think it's a big deal, and I think we should make sure that we correct it.
But, I don't mean to be disrespectful.
Not at all.
I'm just really trying to help.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Anyone else in the public that would like to approach the microphone? All right, seeing none, I'll have a motion, please, to close the public session for now. Mr. Dudia.
I'll second.
And Ms. Holtz will second it. All those in favor, say aye. Any noes? And no abstentions? Okay, so, thank you very much. We're going to move on to the bills list. Mr. Mondell, your favorite part of the night.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have 3 bills, and I'll certainly have them available if anybody wants to see them, because at least 2 of them are extremely detailed. All right, the first one was for the attendance at the special meeting last night. That was for $500. And then there are 2 other bills that have to do with working on the summary judgment response to, as you know, 120 West Passaic Street has previously sued the zoning board, and you are now the planning board on super zoning board powers. So there is a series of entries from June 13th through June 19th. That bill is $3,712.50. Because I ran out of room, there was a second bill, June 20th through the 22nd, for $1,402.50. So those are the 3 bills, and they're available if anybody wants to see them.
Thank you, Mr. Mondello. I need to get a motion, please, to approve the payment of these bills.
I'll make that motion.
Ms. Holtz will make it, Mr. Abud second it. All righty. Roll call for this, please.
Christina Holmes?
Yes.
Ruben Dudia?
Yes.
Christine Muller?
Yes.
Eddie Abud?
Yes.
William Coleman?
Yes.
Andrew Mattson?
Yes.
Chairperson Warren?
Yes.
Sean Smith?
Yes.
And Lou Mazzone?
Yes.
Thank you so much. And now to old business, where we are going to continue the hearing from, I believe it was April. 53 Central Avenue, also known as First Student Bus Company. It's all you guys, so come on up, or there should be extra chairs. I don't know where they are, but. Could you also enter your appearance into the record, sir?
Certainly, Mr. Chairman. For the record, Bruce Rosenberg of Winnie Bant of Israeli & Khan on behalf of First Student, Inc. And as the chairman indicated, this is a continuation of the meeting that was held in April on behalf of First Student, Inc. We were here seeking approval to install the 3,000-gallon above-ground diesel tank to service the school bus operating from the property. As you heard in the April meeting, First Student has operated the bus facility from the property for the past 25 years, and the owners had operated a similar bus operation from the premises for many years prior to that. On-site fueling and buses have always been part of the site operations. In the past 2 years, the owners of the property elected to remove the underground fuel tanks from the property. First Student has to fuel the buses off-site. As a result of comments from the board, First Student has revised the plans, and the first witness this evening is Mr. Costa. He will review the changes this evening.
Mr. Costa, I'm sorry, Bruce. You remain sworn. You're a witness, Mr.
The board, forgive me, the board also wanted the board engineer to review the plans and application materials, and we've been provided with a copy of a Boswell Engineering review letter of June 18th. 2025, and our witnesses will be prepared to address the points raised in that letter. The board also asked the applicant to provide an environmental impact report, which the applicant also has prepared by CTM Environmental Services, and a representative of CTM, Connor Hopkins, is also here to testify. Finally, at the April meeting, the board also requested that the plan be reviewed by the fire officials of the township. The applicant did provide the plans to Sean Reddle, and he did advise a representative from the township and the applicant that his office has no fire prevention concerns with respect to the proposed variance. And I made sure that Mr. Giuliano also was provided with a copy of that email. It was in an email, Mr. Chairman. So I hope that the board members have seen it.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. If I may, I'd like to call Mr. Costa back. He's going to review the revised plans that have been submitted. And just for the record, Mr. Costa, those are revised through what date?
This is, June 25th, 2025. Again, the only thing we added was, I'll get into it, but just the pavement restoration detail that was shot when we were sending it back to you.
Mr. Costas, I don't mean to interrupt you, but would you mind using the microphone? I know you were so good at it last time.
Sure, thank you.
Do a song for us if you could. Thank you.
Prior to that, it was actually May 8th, and again, those revisions were based on the comments that some of the public and the board members actually, the dialogue back and forth, so we made those changes, and I'll get into them very quick.
Oh, good. I was just going to ask you to do that because it's been 2 months, so.
So I think one of the big concerns, the tank itself, we had closer to, let me orient myself because here is the north arrow. Basically northeast, southwest. So we moved it southwesterly, almost equidistant. It's about 100 feet from the property line to the tank itself to the northeast, and about 114 feet to the southwest. So we kind of put it in between the two. It's still being blocked out by the building. It was a question of containment. The board members wanted to see containment around the tank. We produced that. There's a bigger detail as you move to the lower, side of the plan. So you'll see a curb around that. You'll see the gate valve that would allow rainwater to leave that. There was a question on the Boswell Engineering letter. Is there going to be a canopy? There's no canopy. By doing so, obviously, we kept it as far away as possible from all of the neighbors. Like I said earlier, so it's equidistant. And if I could just turn this over. This is just an enlarged version with the revisions on it, showing the actual aerial view with the buses shown, and then the distances to the various homes that are within circling the tank itself. So these got a little bit bigger, and if you look on this, 193 feet to lot 16, 194.6 to 17, lot 18, 187, lot 19, 192. As we go to the south side, lot 72, 159, 71, 164, and lot 69, 148. And again, this was put equidistance, trying to go equidistance to the property line. It's a little bit, believe it or not, further to the tank on the southwest than it is to the north, but for whatever reason, those homes are a little bit closer to the property line, the side property line. With that, there was a question actually on buffering. We're proposing green giant arborvitae along, again, the northeast and the southwest.
If I may, just so, can you tell the board the height of planting of green giant arborvitae, generally?
Hang on 1 second. I think they were 6 to 8, I believe we put on there. Spacing 5 to 6 feet, 6 foot in height planted.
Okay, and they grow to what height, Mr. Costa, generally? I mean, that's why they're green giants.
Yes, they are.
You're going to sing that jingle as well?
Again, it depends on a lot of factors, but I've seen these get up as high as 20 feet. without
And they grow
exaggeration.
relatively quickly, if I'm
They
not
grow
mistaken.
quickly. Leland cypress grows quicker. They're not as durable, not as strong. Once these take in, they're a little more dense, and you do have to plant them a little bit spacing. Obviously, you're going to have some see-through in the beginning, but they will absolutely grow together.
Very good.
Other than that, I think those are the changes. The containment, there's protection completely around the actual containment area. We took out the pavement. You're going to have concrete on the side, and everything else would stay the same that was testified to at the earlier meeting, as far as the alarm systems, if something happens, what happens. I know there was a question. Obviously, we have to update if it is approved, the stormwater protection plan and have that on file. It has to go back in the case of an emergency. But again, all of the above. And I think this answers a lot of the questions that the public had when they were here at the last meeting, and I believe some of the board members.
And just, Mr. Chairman, we have Kevin Underdill from Strata, who testified before. He also is going to talk in more specifics about some of the questions on Boswell's review letter.
It's the gentleman, he's here, correct?
He is.
Oh, okay.
He's next.
Okay.
I just want to make sure you understood that.
Thank you very much. At this point, I'll start with questions from the board members up here for Mr. Costas or Mr. Rosenberg about what they have presented so far. Just let me know, signal with me if you are. Yeah, Mr. Coleman, down the end. Yes.
Mr. Costa, you said you removed the tank? The existing tank is removed? The fuel tank?
No, I think there was an underground storage tank.
The underground storage tanks
That was
were removed about 2 years ago by the owners.
Okay. Is there any documentation of them ever being approved by any of the boards?
To remove tanks?
No, that the tanks were allowed to be put in.
Though, as I understand it, those tanks have been there since the owners have operated the bus depots from the 1950s.
Bruce, quick
Yeah.
question. I didn't know that the tanks were removed 2 years ago. What did they do there? Did they abandon the use of filling up gas stations?
Certainly not. Mr. Mondello, the intent was never to abandon the fueling use of the site. And in fact, originally, to show the continuity, first student actually applied to Rochelle Park and for permits to put in the fuel tank. And it was granted. But then during the course of pursuing it, apparently they got a stop work order from the zoning officer. And that's the reason why we're before the board. No, Mr. Mondello, and thank you very much. There was never been an intent to abandon the fueling aspects on the site.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The tank that was removed, was it diesel or was it gas?
Again, I personally don't know. I wasn't involved in it.
Well, these are. Okay. Thank you.
Any other board members with questions for Mr. Costas or Mr. Rosenberg at this time? I'm going to move on for our professionals.
Did you have your hand up?
Oh, I'm sorry, did you have your hand up? Oh, sorry, I didn't see you. Yes, Mr. Smith.
Do we know if there's been any environmental impact from the original containers being taken out? Has there been anybody in there?
Bruce, we've got to get
I know,
somebody
yeah,
sworn
I know.
in and.
Yeah, I'm trying to,
The good news for me, I'm going to pass that question to that gentleman. that just-
you'll have to come up and be sworn. Thank you.
Sir, were you previously sworn?
No,
I-
he hasn't testified.
Oh, all right.
You'll just have to raise your hand to be sworn and say who you are and what you know.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear firm testimony about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Please, you can put your hand down. Please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address.
My name is Keith, last name Peloso, Peloso. I'm the area general manager for First Student.
Can you answer the question of the board?
Sure. There was a no further action letter issued from, the environmental stating that everything was clean when all the soil testings and everything were done.
How long ago was that?
2 years. That's done immediately as the tanks are taken out. There's soil samples taken, sent in to be tested. The results go back to the DEP, and they issued the no further action letter.
Is there a copy of that letter from the board?
We can certainly get a copy. Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Board members again, just in case I missed anyone. We're going to head to our professionals. We have our planner, which is tonight is Stephen, and we have the engineer from Boswell.
Yeah, hello, Mr. Chairman.
Hi.
Steve Ryan here, Burgess Associates. I'll go first if that's all right. Unfortunately, up until, I reviewed the file because I was not at the last meeting, Mr. Burgess was in April, and unfortunately, I was just handed a copy of the environmental letter dated May 9th and the review letter June 18th from Boswell, so I didn't have the benefit of those. I also reviewed the May 8th drawing from Mr. Costa. I did not have the more recent drawing. So I feel a little uneasy going forward. I heard what Mr. Costa said tonight. My notes from Mr. Burgess indicate that a landscaping plan had been requested. And as of the file I reviewed this morning, what had not been provided. So let me ask Mr. Costa that question. Has a landscaping plan been provided?
I think I did testify. So along the northeast line, arborvitae, we're proposing 171 total arborvitae.
Well, let me ask you this, Mr. Costa. Is that on a landscaping plan or is that on the site plan drawing?
It's on the site plan.
It's on the site plan. So
But
there
again,
was,
but we have notes here that show that, but we can certainly take a planting note and show that on another sheet if that's necessary.
so there's no landscaping plan. And I didn't see,
Well, technically, it's a site plan that shows the arborvitae.
I didn't see anything as far as like irrigation or details, planting details. I did see a chart that said they were going to be 6 feet high. And I did see one,
Well, there is a planting detail, with all due respect.
and I did see one row of arborvitae's both on the northeast and the southwest side, but I didn't see a landscaping plan.
Well, that is our landscaping plan, is to plant 171 green giant arborvitae, 6 foot high. And again, if you've been to the site in the westerly side is paved. There's gravel towards the rear. But again, the idea, again, you weren't here, but with the public, the idea is to buffer those two sides out, and there is enough room there to plant these plants in that small strip. And that's where we put it.
And then I thought when you were talking about the relocation, or the tank relocation, location, I thought I heard you mention it's about equidistance from the northeast and the southwest. But I also thought I heard you say it was blocked by the building?
Well, again, if you come in, some of the homes to the west would be shielded from the building. They couldn't see through the building. Obviously, the building is in the way. It's higher. But again, the board or the public, or both, actually asked us to move it, because originally it was further to the northeast, and then we came back and revised that and put it equidistant to the property line, and then put up, the buffering with the green giant arborvitae in order to further shield the neighbors away. That was the intent, and I think, unless I misunderstood some of the dialogue between the board and the neighbors and myself, I thought that's what was wanted from us, or requested from us.
I have no other questions, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. The representative from Boswell.
Excuse me. Good evening. The first, I'm not sure, firstly, if everyone has the revised letter dated June 24th as well. Okay.
No, we don't have a revised letter dated June 24th. We have a letter dated June 18th. We were not provided with the June 24th letter. We would like to see it if we can.
Here, I give my copy.
Much of it didn't change from the June 18th, but nonetheless, for clarification, and I'm not sure if this is more.
Oh, it's fine. Understood. Okay, I think we'll be able to address these, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Related to the zoning use and the location, specifically that the existing use, as a bus facility, if you will, is not currently a part of the AH1 zone. And we were looking to see if there was any documentation, either pre-existing or what have you, from to the satisfaction of the board, related to whether that had been approved previously, which would affect the type of variance being requested.
Mr. Rosenberg, you want to hit that one out of the ballpark?
Yeah, we had testified at length at the first meeting, provided evidence to the board attorney that this use has been a pre-existing non-conforming use for many, many, many years.
In fact, I thought the testimony was 1950?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
And Mr. Navarro was not here to hear that
I
testimony,
understand.
so with all due respect...
They're doing their due diligence. I get it, Mr. Mondello, not a problem.
Another question that arose was, and I'm not sure if this is a question for Mr. Costa or from one of the other witnesses or experts, if you will. Is there a means of leak detection and overflow protection?
All of this will be dealt with our next witness from Strata Environmental. He will go through all the other points that you raised in your letter, specifically having to do with the operation of the tank, safety of the tank, and the like.
Okay.
That's our next witness.
Very good.
Thank you.
So no more questions from Mr. Costa. Thank you.
I think I was 7 and 8, so I put down 7 with the landscape. 8, I put no next to it because there's no canopy. Those would be, I got the easier questions tonight.
Okay, at this time, I want to open up to any public comment or question, just based on the testimony we've heard so far. And you would be able to ask the gentleman here questions about what they presented so far. We still have yet to hear from some other experts, but give the public this opportunity if they'd like to come up now to ask a question.
Can I actually just see the diagram?
I think I'm fine with that. You can come on up and see the diagram. Absolutely.
Now?
You can come right now. Yeah, and if you want to sit closer, you can, when you head back to your seat. Show her the one with the houses.
Okay, so my house is 71 Central.
We can't have these conversations.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
We can't, Miss, you just have to look at it? Yeah, just, you have to look at the thing, and then you could ask questions, but we can't have, like, commentary.
Oh,
All right?
okay, I see.
And
Sorry.
the questions need to be at the microphone.
Yeah.
Sure. No, I'm good. Here.
Mr. Costa, this should not occur. Thank you.
Okay, can you hear
Just
me?
state your name, please, and your address.
Laura Kowalski, 71 Central.
Thank you.
I just want to see where this is. I was there the other day. And they showed me where the tank is. I just want to make sure that the tank is in the same spot that she showed me. And I want to see if my yard would be blocked by arborvitaes, and they're going to clean up the mess that they have. Okay?
So those are 3 questions.
Okay, so we can,
So
okay.
your first one is,
I want to see where the arborvitaes were.
okay, Mr. Costas, can you point out that for this lady here, this young lady? So, right, that would be the Ms. Kowalski.
So it would be like the beginning here,
Right there.
but not my house. That way.
All right, so for the record, Mr. Costa is indeed using a green light pen and showing the resident where the arborvitae is.
So these dots are arborvitae? Okay.
Yeah, these are all trees.
These are my trees, I think.
Yeah.
So they're gonna go over here. And where's the tank? Here, where she showed me?
He's indicated where the tank is on the site plan to the witness, I'm sorry, the resident.
This is your, so to your neighbor, your neighbor is 193. 194.
Okay, so it's pretty much where it was.
We moved, well, I don't know where they told you, but basically from the original proposal,
Somewhere right
it's further away from you. Yes, right?
And I'm sure you can handle the last question. Will the garbage be cleaned up?
Yes, it has been ongoing and will continue.
You're working on it. You
Yes.
are working on it. The dumpsters are gone, and we want to have to get for
Thank you very much. I appreciate the questions, and you could, if you have some later on for the other experts, you're more than welcome to come up and ask. Okay. Next witness, next testimony, or?
Thank you very much. Yes, that's it for Mr. Costa.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, thank you, members of the public, thank you.
My next witness is Kevin Underdell from Strata Environmental, and he's going to discuss specifically the questions that Boswell has asked in its letter, very specific questions about operations.
Mr. Rosenberg, was he previously sworn?
He was.
Oh, you remain sworn, sir.
Good evening, folks.
Again, if you would, just with whom are you affiliated, Mr. Underdell?
I'm with Metro Environmental Services. We're going to be doing the install of the tank.
Okay.
Senior project manager for them.
And you heard me say that you're going to be dealing with the questions, specific questions that Boswell Engineer had. I'm going to draw your attention to their letter and ask if you would, let's start with the issue of I had number 9, it might be a different number now. Leak detection and overfill prevention. Could you just review that for the board and how that's going to work?
Yes, the tank is equipped with an overfill prevention valve, leak detection sensors. There is an alarm system on the tank itself. In case there's a overfill when the driver's there, there is an alarm, an unsafe alarm that will go off, a red flashing strobe light will go off. Inside the fill port where the tank comes up to fill, there's an actual containment unit that prevents any kind of spillage out into the street.
Okay, the next question was, can you confirm that all piping to the fuel dispensers are above ground?
Yes, all piping will be above ground. There's actually 2 sets of piping. There's an inner wall piping and there's a secondary containment. In case there is ever, God forbid, a leak inside that first primary line, it'll go into the secondary line, which goes back into the fill port itself.
Thank you. The AST must comply with NFPA International Fire Code requirements, including but not limited to overfill spill protection, leak detection, venting, separation distances. The installation must be approved by the local fire and building code officials. Can you confirm that all that will be complied with?
It will.
Okay. The AST capacity exceeds 1320 gallons. A spill prevention control and countermeasure SPCC plan is required pursuant to federal regulation. Can you confirm that the SPCC plan will be prepared?
Yes.
Okay. 13, based upon the site plan, it appears 24 by 36 inch concrete barrier curbs will be installed on the perimeter of the tank to provide additional containment. The drainage of liquids from the curbed area must be controlled to prevent contamination of natural water courses, public sewers, and utilities. Can you provide additional information, the procedures to properly drain the liquids from any curbed containment area?
Yes, in most cases, I believe you guys use Safety Clean, is that you guys use? So any kind of rainwater that's inside that containment dike area, the Safety Clean, which is a fuel disposal contamination company, will come out and they will dispose of that liquid fuel that's in there, rainwater runoff, whatever is contained there, and that'll be sent to another disposal facility.
So again, the containment will all be handled by a licensed hauler. That's correct.
Yep, 100%.
Okay. And then, I don't know if you can answer this. There was a question about the tank is to be refilled manually or smaller tanks or via truck. I believe that we did have testimony about that at the first meeting. Can you just tell how many trucks there might be and how that refilling occurs?
That is more for strata, but I know a tank of this size, you're not going to have big fuel tankers. They're more like, if you see a homeowner fuel tanks come in, the capacity at any time they'll be probably getting between 1,500 to maybe 2,000 gallons of gas. So they're small trucks.
Okay.
They're not big tanker trucks that you see on the road filling up gas stations.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I have nothing further. Mr. Underdell.
Thank you. I'll turn to the board members here for questions for the current witness. Go ahead, Ms. Muller.
Just real quick, when you just said it's a small truck coming to refill, How often, you didn't say how often, or did you?
I
didn't
don't know, that, I kind of defer to the environmental company on that,
Okay.
that handles that.
Twice a week.
Twice a week.
And I think I asked this last time because, I don't know if you know this, I don't know who does. How often do the school buses, fill up there?
Again, that'd be,
Okay.
more on first student.
Okay. I'll just
Not a
wait.
problem.
I would say, depending on the route that they're covering, the school buses fill up every second or third day.
And how many buses do you have there around? Wasn't it 100 or something?
No, I was gonna say 79.
Okay, so, I mean, that's a lot of buses. Do they, I mean, when you fill it up, they're standing there running, right?
While they're being built?
Right.
Oh, no, we have policy to get shut down.
Okay.
So they do not idle.
No.
Being filled. Thank you.
They don't idle?
While you're at the microphone, if I might, and Bruce, my notes from, I guess, April, the note is, I know this has been here for at least 30 years, but how did it become a pre-existing non-conforming use? And I know you said, I don't know, but how long have you worked for this company?
I worked for First Student for 9 years now,
Oh, okay.
so I don't take back that far.
All right, thank
No,
you.
but I can represent, because I've spoken with the attorney for the owners of the property who are 80 years old, that they have operated a bus depot from this facility since the 1950s.
Thank you. All right.
Mr. Mondell, I have to ask, Mr. Rosenberg,
Yes.
I know that's what they say, but is there anything to show us that what they're saying is correct? I might sound like a simple
No,
question,
sure, Mr.
but
Chairman. I provided Mr. Mondello with
the letter, I saw the letter.
the agreements that were done with Mr. Torrey as the attorney for the owners, and that letter acknowledges the pre-existing nonconformity of the bus depot.
That was from 2007, I think.
That is
Yeah.
correct, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll ask Mr. Mondell if he has that in his thing here, but I think I recall that still being a shaky reference from our first meeting back in April, but I'll have him take a look at it again. Members of the board up here, I have questions for this gentleman that's standing here from Strata or
Metro Environment.
Metro Environment. Yes, Mr. Smith.
What would a worst-case scenario look like for the residents around the area? Meaning that, I get it, it's surrounded, but the energy is coming from the top, right? So if it's covered on the outside, 4 walls,
You're talking about the tank itself?
the tank itself.
Well, the tank is, as far as like an accident, like if someone hits it, or?
Worst, yeah, it explodes. God
Well,
forbid.
it's not gonna explode, it's a diesel tank.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's, as far as like, if a bus comes in, that's why we have the concrete barricades in front of it. They're designed to withstand an impact of a bus like that. As far as the environmental impact to, I really can't, speak for that. What would the outcome of how much is fuel in the tank itself at the time? But
So your diesel tanks don't explode?
I've never seen it or heard of a diesel tank exploding.
I think there was a story in the news a few days ago, one exploded on a army base.
Out here, a diesel tank exploded?
Yes.
It happens. I've never heard that before.
Anyone else on the board? I'm going to move over to our professionals. Mr. Lyden, you want to start?
Yeah, I just have a real quick question. You provided a lot of testimony about the tank and some of the features on the tank. I looked through my file late this morning, early this afternoon. Do we have any drawings on the tank itself?
Tank cut sheets?
Yeah.
That was provided to the town when I supplied the permit, when I actually applied for the permit originally.
That was like 2 years ago, I think
2
Mr.
years ago,
Rosenberg
yeah.
mentioned?
Yeah. I don't have any with me now, but.
So you submitted cut sheets 2 years ago to the construction code official, the fire?
Yes, yeah. I provide all the information with the cut sheets, actual site plan, where we plan on for concrete, all that stuff.
Do you know if those cut sheets and such were submitted for this application?
I don't know, to be honest with you, sir. I can't answer that.
Okay.
I do know, I will say that it was approved, the permit that we originally applied for, and then when I called back to start the job, then that's when they said it was stop work order. because of the variance.
With all respect, Mr. Chairman, I think that there should be, the file should be enhanced with information on the tank and the features the gentleman testified to.
What you're saying is that while he's telling us the specs, we should be seeing the specs.
Yeah, I'm from
Okay.
Missouri. You know, show me.
Is that the Show Me State?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And that's not really, I know, well, I wasn't sworn in, Mr. Mondello, but I'm not really from Missouri.
Well, when we get your testimony, we will. You're asking questions
I'm
at this
just asking
point.
questions now, but I'm not really from Missouri. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I don't think I have any other questions. Thank you.
Marco?
Hey, you've answered the questions that we presented in the letter. Another question that just spurred off the top of my head, and maybe this, forgive me because this is my first meeting. I'm not sure if it was addressed before, but how, based on exterior temperatures, how hot, if I'm saying this right, how hot can the tank get and not cause a problem, if you understand what I mean? In the sense of, like the heat that we've had the last few days.
Right.
Is there a threshold temperature for the tank where it doesn't cause issues with either, containment itself or tank features or anything to that effect?
Not that I'm aware of, but it is a double wall tank. There's an inner wall of this tank, so there's an interstitial space in between the two layers of this tank. That's very, very minute thin. As far as like temperature wise, the heat resistance, I don't have that answer for you, sir.
While you're looking at your notes, if I could jump in for a second.
Sure.
Do you have any idea how old the existing tank is in the ground?
And,
Yeah, but he still might know about it.
Oh, no, I don't know anything about that tank, sir.
The reason I'm asking, Bruce, is, I thank you for providing this, and very quickly, I'll just read it into a record. They, meaning the applicant, shall be permitted continuation of their lawful pre-existing non-conforming use. Specifically for owner and operator, their successors and signs may continue to use and operate on the property as a regional school bus depot for the dispatch, repair, maintenance, and storage of school bus vehicles for not more than 149 school bus vehicles on the property, along with the existing non-conforming structures operation and uses necessary thereto. But it never mentions any type of gasoline filling, but yeah.
It occurred. It was always on site.
Okay.
Yeah.
Marco, do you have any other questions? No?
Nothing at this
That's
time.
okay.
Thank you.
At this time, I'll invite the public to ask any questions for this gentleman's testimony. Yes.
Can you come on?
And if you can hand the microphone to, that's okay. It's just for the minutes, ma'am.
Laura
Thank you.
from
Hi.
Central Avenue. Who is actually filling these buses? Is somebody professional, or who's using the diesel tank to fill the buses?
I don't think that he can answer that question. Can you come back up again?
Like, I want to know if all random people are doing it, or you're having one special person do it? Like, will they know what they're doing? I hope so.
We have a designated person that would be a fueler. The person is fully trained in all of our standard operating procedures. It's not just each bus driver hopping into
I
their
wasn't
bus.
sure.
No, there's an individual assigned for that.
Okay, thank you.
You can hand that back. Thank you so much. Okay, seeing no other members of the public, Mr. Rosenberg.
Thank you. My
next.
final witness this evening is Connor Hopkins from CTN Environmental.
Welcome, sir. If you'd be so kind as to, when you get situated there, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give me the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, help you God?
Yeah.
You can put your hand down, please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address.
My name's Connor Hopkins, last name Hopkins. Address is 1204 Lexington Mews, Swedesboro, New Jersey, and I work for C10 Environmental. We're an environmental consultant that works hand in hand from New Jersey DEP from beginning to end, figure out what's wrong with the site, how to clean it up.
So, Mr. Rosenberg,
Yes.
you are proffering this witness as an expert or
No,
a fact witness?
Mr. Hopkins is a fact witness. His firm, CTM Environmental, has prepared the environmental impact report, which this board asked for, and which has been submitted with the application. You should have it in front of you, and I'm just going to ask Mr. Hopkins to review the analysis that was undertaken by CTM with respect to the proposed above-ground fuel tank, and that is the purpose of his testimony, Mr. Mondello.
Thank you. Yes?
Question?
Sure.
I'm looking at this report from CTM, and on page 4, it's not signed by Mr. Hopkins.
That is correct.
It's signed by somebody else.
That is correct. And
Let him finish.
And I'm just concerned, he's not being offered as an expert, but as a fact witness, as I understand it. And I don't know how a fact witness testifies to somebody else's letter.
I don't care about that. Mr. Mondello, this is a representative of CTM. I think he's qualified to review the report. It was done with his knowledge, his experience with the company. And
The author of this document, do you work with him?
Mm-hmm.
Is he your supervisor?
Yes.
That was a little hesitation. Is he your supervisor?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. All right. I think, go ahead.
Well, if we're going to do that, is it worthwhile to get any expertise or qualifications from the person who wrote the report? Or is that out of line? I don't know.
Yeah, so, interesting. I think it goes to the weight of the evidence. What Steve is saying, Mr. Leiden is saying that this is an area that may require an expert, and we don't have an expert here. We have a fact witness, and we have a fact witness that is not being qualified as an expert. All he's doing is sort of reviewing the letter that you have in front of you, much like what you would do by just simply reading it. He can't probably do much more than that. Would that be accurate, Mr. Rosenberg?
he is going to review this report, Mr. Mondello, and certainly if you want, Mr. Hopkins, can you review with the board your qualifications? I mean, as someone who works at CTM, just generally, speak up, please.
Sure. I have a Bachelor of Science. I've been with CTM for a little over 5 years now. I've dealt with underground storage tanks as well, above ground storage tanks many, many times. I've watched the installation and removal of them. I've cleaned up their leaks. I've seen it all, so.
All right, so he does have some level of expertise with cleaning up leaks, et cetera, et cetera. I don't have that document in front of me because I gave it to you, which is fine, but it may go to the weight of the evidence, and you may find that this is not the appropriate witness to actually testify on this subject, and you might, so we'll see. It goes to the weight of the evidence. This board acts in a quasi-judicial role. You're sort of like judges, and you're going to listen to this individual and decide whether or not he is indeed credible and has enough experience to even testify as a fact witness on this very specific issue of tanks cleaning up, et cetera, et cetera.
And before, Mr. Rosenberg, excuse me, if I might, we heard Mr. Hopkins say he has a BS, but he didn't tell us what the degree was in, and he didn't tell us if any licenses or expertise that's been recognized by...
I think he said Bachelor of Science.
Yes, but he didn't tell us in what?
Environmental Sciences.
Okay, or where?
University of South Carolina.
Yeah. And do you have any licenses or special recognition certifications from either New Jersey DEP or South Carolina or?
No.
Thank you.
Fair enough.
One more follow-up, if I may. Your father, Mr. Hopkins, founded CTM, did he not?
Yes, sir.
And that was in 2007, was that not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you've learned under his auspices as well, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, your witness, Mr.
Thank you very much. So, Mr. Hopkins, CTM has prepared a review letter of environmental impact report dated May 9th, 2025. Can you review with the board what CTM did with respect to reviewing the environmental impact of the proposed above-ground storage tank? What exact analysis did you undertake?
So, basically the analysis was, what could the potential impacts be of that tank? God forbid it does leak, what neighboring wildlife, neighboring properties, potential impact to groundwater as well as soil if it did leak. And our conclusion was basically that above ground storage tanks are much more non-leak prone, and it would be the better option.
Okay, does that conclude your testimony? So I could turn to the board for questions?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Matson.
How long have you been working for this company?
A little over 5 years.
And your father founded it?
Yes, sir.
And how old are you?
25.
What were you doing in 2007?
I was still in school.
All right. And do you live in New Jersey?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Does that conclude your questions, Mr. Matson?
Yes.
Any other board members have questions? Seeing none, I'm going to move to our professionals. Mr. Lyden, I know you had asked several questions already. Are there others you'd like to ask?
No, I would think not, Mr. Chairman, but thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Navarro?
No, not at this time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I'll now turn to the public again for any questions for this gentleman's testimony that he just gave. Seeing none. Next witness, Mr. Rosenberg.
I have no further witnesses this evening, Mr. Chairman.
All
I'll
right.
be listening to what the board has to say, what the professionals have to say.
Mr. Rosenberg,
Yes.
did I miss it? There was planning testimony, right?
That was Mr. Costa last time we were here in April.
Oh, he's grandfathered in.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
That planning testimony was offered,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Mondello.
I'm getting old, man. All
That's
right.
okay.
All right, if you want to open it up to you.
Yes. Okay. At this point, I'll take a motion from the dais to open up to the public for comments.
Motion.
Thank you. Second. Okay, so on any, all those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Okay. So what does this mean? Anyone in the public can come up now and tell us whether they like it, don't like it, comments, whatever they want to ask and say about what they have heard tonight about this application. So the microphone, if we could put the microphone back on the stand over there, thank you so much. Anyone from the public would like to come up and say what they'd like to say about this application? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to have ask for a motion to close the public session for this. May I have a motion? Mr. Aboud, second.
I'll make a motion.
Second, thank you, Mr. Duty. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Any noes? Yes, Mr. Coleman.
One question.
Yes.
The tanks were taken out 2 years ago. Why didn't you apply for new tanks 2 years ago?
We did. We did apply.
So
Yes, please come up. Please come up again, Mr. Underhill, and explain what occurred here historically with the fact that First Student absolutely applied. Please explain.
I did apply to the township here to install the tank that we had brought up, and for all zoning purposes and everything was granted. We were understood it was granted and approved. I had called back to speak to the building department to find out exactly when the permits would be approved to move forward, and then we were told that there was a stop work order for a variance. So everything was sent in as far as on our end, that they required site plan.
So you initially got approval?
Initially, we were approved.
And then they reviewed it
And then
further
they
and
reviewed
found
it, and the same person that approved it denied it.
Okay.
If you understand that, I don't know how that happened, but.
Oh, I understand. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, at this point, we're going to turn to our professionals for their testimony. So we have to swear them in. Mr. Mondella?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Navarro, why don't you lead us off here? Please raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm testimony back to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please put your hand down. Please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your office address.
Yes. Only because I know where I work. I often forget the address. Apologies. My name is Marco Navarro, traffic project manager. However, I do serve with Boswell, who's also a municipal engineer for various municipal towns and whatnot. Address is 330 Phillips Avenue in South Hackensack, New Jersey.
And you are, for this application, because there was indeed a conflict, the board's engineer on this?
That is correct, yes.
All right, what would you like to tell the board?
For the vast majority of the testimony provided today, I believe that the witnesses that arrived had addressed the comments presented into the letter to my satisfaction. However, I would still like to know a little bit more pertaining to maybe the heat resistance of the tanks, and if somehow, I'm not sure if it's in the records for the township or whatnot, to be able to present that to the planner and I, that may also assist in a more satisfactory type decision at this time. At this time, while the containment appears okay, just based on heat and the fact that there is no canopy, that presents to me at least a little bit of concern. My expertise is...
What type of a concern? Safety, health?
More so in terms of safety. I don't know enough about this tank. Again, I was not present at the first meeting, so I don't know enough about the tank in terms of its properties and things of that nature, structurally, mechanically, what have you, to make such a decision.
Okay. Before we talk to Mr. Lyden, I'll let Mr. Rosenberg address it. Mr. Rosenberg, would you like to address the testimony?
I'm at a bit of a loss. I mean, all I can say is that, as Mr.
Well, do you have any questions for him? Any cross-examination?
I don't have any cross-examination.
You can sum up, certainly.
Yeah, I don't have any cross.
All right. Okay. Mr. Lyden, please raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, I do.
Put your hand down. Please state your name, spell your last name, give us your office address, and who you work for.
Okay, last name is Lyden, first name is Steve, it's spelled Lydon. I work for Burgess Associates, and I have for about 25 years now. Our address is 25 Westwood Avenue in Westwood.
And you are filling in for Joseph Burgess, who was here at the last meeting but couldn't make it this evening, correct?
That's correct.
And you are the planner for the board, and I believe the township, I'm not sure.
I believe that's also correct.
Okay. What would you like to tell the board?
Well, first I'd like to apologize for Mr. Burgess not being here, both to the board as well as to Mr. Rosenberg. It's something we try to avoid very, very hard, but an emergency came up, and I'm here.
But we got to see him last night, so.
That's right, you did. And he did a fine presentation, I was told. One thing I would comment on is, from reviewing Mr. Burgess's notes at the last hearing, we were expecting a landscaping plan. I see what Mr. Costa presented. I think that's a far cry from a landscaping plan. I also think, quite frankly, just as an aside, the idea that one row of planting materials is sufficient, I think, is not accurate. I think that's problematic in a number of ways. Details such as irrigation is important for plants to survive. We haven't anything like that. So the lack of a landscaping plan, I do believe, is important. I would also further concur that the information on the tanks, or the tank, and its features is non-existent. We heard testimony. We haven't seen any plans. And I think for the board to be asked by an applicant to approve the installation of a 3,000-gallon tank without plans is asking the board to do a lot. But that's you'll have to weigh that evidence and decide if you have enough information to approve that application. The other thing I would see, I've reviewed Mr. Burgess's notes, and he did take notes about Mr. Costas' testimony, but I don't see any commentary on the township's master plan in relationship to this application. And before Mr. Rosenberg takes my head off, if there was testimony, I further apologize. but I didn't see any on that. And I don't know if Mr. Burgess asked the question, if he had the opportunity, or if he knew Mr. Costa was coming back and he was waiting for tonight. But I don't see any commentary about, or any testimony concerning the master plan. Since I did not see the environmental letter or the plans that Mr. Costa testified to tonight, I really would not prefer to comment on them. I don't think it's fair to either the board or the applicant.
What about the positive and negative criteria with respect to this application?
Well, the positive criteria is somewhat easy, Mr. Mandola, because as an inherently beneficial use, the applicant satisfies that simply by being classified inherently beneficial.
That's typically for schools, but there are some cases that say even a parking lot, the Fairlawn, the
Scholastic bus.
Scholastic bus
Fairlawn.
case from Fairlawn says that even the parking lot where the buses are inherently beneficial.
Yes, that's correct. So, and I don't take any issue or exception with that, and I think the application is correctly labeled inherently beneficial. So the positive criteria of the statute is met, but that still leaves the negative criteria. And that means that the board has to hear testimony and weigh testimony as to potential impacts on both the purpose and intent of your zoning ordinance. And quite frankly, this zone is in an affordable housing zone, which is a far cry from an industrial zone. But more importantly, maybe, in this application, it needs to rectify the proposed use and how it works, not rectify. It needs to analyze the master plan and talk about why this application should be approved, even though it's not recommended in the master plan. Now, I do know that the burden is a little lighter with the D2, because quite frankly, for those who haven't been to a lot of D2 applications, the D2 is an expansion of a non-conforming use. So it's been there's been some colloquy back and forth. A D1 application, the negative criteria is applied a lot stricter, or in a lot stricter fashion, because it's something new and different. But even with an expansion of a non-conforming use, there should be some addressing of the master plan, and in some ways, it's almost a little bit more difficult because we've heard testimony that this use has been here since the 1950s. It's a long time ago. Why doesn't the master plan address it? There's a reason for that, and there should be some testimony, some analysis on behalf of the applicant as to why the master plan.
We haven't heard testimony that it's been here since the 50s. Mr. Rosenberg doesn't give testimony, but he's an officer of the court, and to some extent, we have to believe what he says.
I always believe what Mr. Rosenberg says. But there should be some testimony as to why the master plan still doesn't acknowledge this existing use. And I did not see any of that kind of testimony in Mr. Burgess's notes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to...
Cross-examination?
No
cross.
No.
All right.
Okay, questions for the... Yes, Mr. Holman.
Yeah. Isn't it true that the nonconformity, the duty of the boards is basically to bring nonconforming uses and properties into conformity rather than expand upon the nonconformity?
Yes, and that's why they're considered use variances. But, you know, in everything in life, and I'm not the applicant I'm not the planner's, I'm not the applicant's planner, but to give a full and correct answer to that question, non-conforming uses tend to stay where they are because they're a property right, number one, under our form of land use law, and two, they're usually things such as this that not too many communities have school buses, school bus depots, or school bus parking lots. So the theory is that they should go wither away and become permitted uses. The use should be converted to a permitted use. That runs up a little bit with reality. And a good example to take it away from this, since I'm not the applicant's planner, two-family dwellings in a one-family zone, they almost never disappear because they're a valuable property right and they have a certain value. So there is that tension in the law and the way this is applied, and I think that gets addressed through testimony on the negative criteria side. How come the master plan doesn't call for this to be used in a way similar to the way it's been used all these years.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Coleman. Anyone else from the board have questions for Mr. Lyden? Okay, seeing none up here, I'll also take a moment to invite the public to ask, right? They can ask
Questions, and
yes,
questions only.
for the professionals that you heard their testimony. All right, seeing none.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I have one more question.
You got it.
To Mr. Rosenberg.
Yes.
The building, they service the buses there?
Yes.
All right, so if you're gonna service the buses there and have a storage tank, a fuel tank, with that, and maybe this is better addressed to our attorney, would that constitute a service station?
I would think not, no.
Under 185, our ordinance, if you bear with me.
Yeah, but they don't service the, you know,
They
the
service-
public. It's a very specific need that apparently has been going on for a while. They only take care of the buses and they fuel buses. You and I
understand
couldn't,
that, but it doesn't, our ordinance doesn't specify that they service the public. That's what 185, 126H, number 1.
I would concur with Mr. Mondello's commentary. I would also suggest to you, I'm old enough to remember the first Arab oil embargo, when people were putting underground and above ground tanks on the residential properties to avoid the lines at gas stations. And I don't think they would be considered service stations either.
My concern was that if it did fall under it, then we have a 200-foot barrier that we need between the residential properties. So, okay, if council feels that it's not needed to be addressed, that.
Mr. Rosenberg, do you have a comment?
I agree with you and Mr. Lyden. I don't think this is a service station. It's freestanding service station under the ordinances.
It's a good point. I mean, I'm not 1,000% sure, but certainly off the top of my head, I don't see that as being a service station, and it appears I'm not in the minority, but you might be right.
Yes, Mr. Smith.
Question. Just getting back to that environmental study after the diesel tanks were taken out, how long was that study? How long was after the diesel tanks were taken out? Excuse me.
Can you answer the question?
How long was that study after?
Again?
What was the length
Yeah.
between the tanks being taken out?
There was a 10,000 gallon gas tank and a 10,000 gallon diesel tank that were removed. The testing is done immediately. They're sent out to labs, and I believe it's multi-section testing. And the testing is done, immediately. If there's anything found in that, it's like drug testing. They test the second sample, make sure it coincides with the first one. Then they go and issue reports to, I believe it's a DEP, and they read through all the analysis, and it's either you have to have a remediation of the site, or you're given a no further action necessary.
And I'm not trying to put you on the spot here, but when you say immediately, what do you mean by that as far as time?
Oh, it's within
Right
days.
after that day?
Yeah, they take the samples the day that the tanks are removed. And they're sent out that evening for testing.
Mr. Mattson.
Mr. Chairman, you're the regional manager?
I'm the area general manager. I oversee all the first student locations in northern New Jersey.
And how many locations is that's in Bergen County?
Bergen County, I've got Englewood, Rochelle Park. No, the other one's going to Passaic County. But I have 11 locations altogether.
And how many of those locations do you have fueling stations on site?
I've got it in Englewood, Lincoln Park, Butler, East Orange. I think where else? Englishtown. I think that's all with on-site fueling.
Are those above ground on-site fueling or in the ground tanks?
Well, actually, I left out 2, Andover and Lafayette. Andover and Lafayette are underground, and all the other ones were above ground.
And,
So the majority are above ground.
and I think just to touch on Mr. Coleman's statement, for a student, would you consider yourselves to serve the public as a company? Your bus company?
I'm not following your question.
Do you guys serve, I mean, he's asking if, you guys pick the public up with your buses, you're gonna fill the tanks up at your depot, so to speak, and
Right.
you're not picking up family members, you're picking up the public in your bus, so,
Yeah, our primary core business is transportation of students.
okay.
That's all.
Anything else?
Mr. Abu, yes.
Do the other locations have the same setup that you guys are trying to put in here? The tank wise and alarm systems and all the...
They're all exactly the same. The majority of the other locations with the above-ground tanks are larger tanks. They're 10 and 12,000 gallon tanks, so this is a substantially smaller one.
Just one more question I forgot to ask, maybe I did, but, so the alarm systems that you have on the tanks, do they connect to anything? Do they warn anybody? Do they go to the fire department?
Can you come back up, Mr. Wonderly?
Or do they just...
They can be monitored by a central station if need be, but in most cases, the alarm system, if triggered, it will go sound off the alarm that I mentioned before, and there's also inside in the manager's office, it'll show that there's a leak.
And is there someone manning that station 24/7, or how is that?
There is not that I know of. I don't know.
I'll ask you one more thing.
Just stay up here, it's fine.
Through they call it like a Vita root system. Through that system, it would have an internal alarm inside the office, but that's also connected with our fuel supplier, which is Mansfield Oil. They monitor our tanks, so they'll be able to tell you how many gallons are in the tank at any given time, and if there's ever an alarm.
Correct. So
there is a way of having that connectivity 24/7.
So now that the tank is 3,000 as opposed to 20, does Mansfield fueling have to come every day, every other day, every 2 days to
They
fill
would,
it?
they would monitor it when you're getting down, say for instance on the 3,000 gallon tank. They will monitor the drop in the level of the tank and will determine, okay, when you're down to 400 gallons, we're going to be setting up a delivery.
Yeah, but you know there's 149 buses or whatever the number is, I mean, and you've been doing this for quite some time. So how often is this fueler coming to this spot with a 3,000 gallon tank?
We're estimating with a 3,000 gallon tank, based upon the amount of gallons that we burn there, it would be refilled twice per week.
Twice a week? Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any others?
And just for the record, it's 80 buses.
80.
79.
This one says 149.
I know, up to.
One got rid of a couple.
They got rid of quite a few.
Mr. Rosenberg, would you like to sum up anything?
I really want to sort of, if I may, can I have an adjournment of 5 minutes, Mr. Chairman, to consult with my client before we sum up?
Sure, we could do a recess, use the bathroom, et cetera, so do I need to make a motion for that? Sure. Can I make please have a motion to adjourn for 5 minutes?
I'll second it.
Second it, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned.
Thank you very much.
Okay, can I please get a motion to return to session, please?
I'll make that motion.
Ms. Holt, second is Mr. Aboud. All those in favor? Aye. All right, Mr. Rosenberg.
Thank you so much. Mr. Chairman, I've conferred with the representatives of First Student, and we've heard concerns by your professionals, and we really would like to adjourn the meeting so that we have the opportunity to fully respond to any comments, concerns, issues that we've heard this evening. So we would like for an adjournment, Mr. Chairman, to the next available meeting date, please.
Mr. Mondale? Well, it's his application, his client's application, and if they would like to supplement it, they certainly can.
We should do a vote for that, right? Or just he can adjourn and we can have him back?
You can make the motion either way.
We'll make a motion to grant an adjournment to the next available meeting for 53, Mr. Mattson. Second is Mr. Aboud. All those in favor? Aye. Any noes? Any abstentions? Okay.
I would like to ask
The
for
next date is July 17th, let's get the date right.
July 17th.
July 17th.
And again, no further notice, Mr. Mondello?
No further notice. Anyone that's here for this application, there will be no further notice. July 17th at 6 PM. Fine
Thank you so
job,
much.
Mr. Rosenberg.
Have a good
as
evening. Have a
always.
good July.
Thank you very much, you too. All right, next up on the public agenda here, we have a section for public portion on any agenda items. We do have a closed session coming up. I will inform the public that there will be no action taken after that closed session. Nope.
I'm taking Mount Olive on July 17th. I hate the idea that it's in the third plan.
We could ask the 53 Central application to come in August if that's the case.
That would be great, thank you. If you do that, though, my suggestion would be to put it on the agenda for the 17th for the purposes of opening and carrying it to August.
Okay.
Mr. Rosenberg doesn't have to notice.
Well, he doesn't have to notice. Mr. Rosenberg may object to that, especially if his client wants this decided yesterday, okay? I mean, we can still say that, I'm sorry, our planner is not available, and it'll have to be pushed to that date, end of story. And Mr. Burgess is not available.
No,
He's on vacation.
When is the agenda and ask?
Yes.
21st. I'm gonna text Mr. Rosenberg. So,
While we're looking at this, again, anyone from the public on agenda items can come up to the microphone. Okay, seeing none. We are going to make a motion to go into closed session whenever you're ready, Mr. Mondell.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, a motion to go into closed session. Mr. Mattson, seconded by Mr. Aboud. All those in favor? Aye. There won't be any decisions being made after the closed session. If you are interested in staying or not, it's up to you, all right? Yeah, we're going to delete that, yes. All right, we are good to go. We are back in public session. So before we adjourn for the night, there are a couple of housekeeping items that I want to bring everyone up to speed on. The first is the concern that I have about the facilitation of documents and the accuracy of the agendas, et cetera. It has not gone unnoticed that we have an issue with dates that are not correct, that there are documents that have not been handed out in a proper amount of time. I've heard from board members about having minutes in a time frame that allows people to thoroughly read them to vote, about having documents that pertain to applications 10 days prior. We had a member of the audience tonight bring up the incorrect dates on the agenda and had an issue with when it was actually advertised. I am not happy with the way some of the what I call the day-to-day operations of a land use board have been occurring. And I am prepared to recommend personnel changes if necessary. I spoke with Mr. Pinto this morning, and the municipal clerk will be assisting and overseeing the next month's agenda, documents, et cetera. I am very concerned that we come off looking tight. And I know we're a new board, we're finding our sea legs, but I think that we're going to be approached by some heavy hitters in the coming months. We need accurate documents, we need accurate agendas, we need all public-facing documents to be on the website as fast as possible, and our meetings on YouTube as fast as possible. I'm very concerned, and I'm not happy with the way things are currently being run. And like I said, I am prepared to recommend to the Township Committee and to the Town Administrator personnel changes if needed. Questions on that? Comments on that? Next, Mr. Mondello did get an update on 433 Rochelle Ave, which is the gas station on the corner of West Passaic. Do you want me to read what the attorney mentioned, or do you want to update?
Thanks, yeah, because I did put it away, but...
Yes. So Mr. Mondello did send me an update from their attorney, who's Scott Recant. They are confused about the lighting issue. According to them, they have heard comments that the lights are too bright or not bright enough. Since it is their intention to request approval for an upcoming canopy of the gas islands, that's an issue that they can resolve if they consult with our engineer. But they're unclear. Are the lights too bright or are they not bright enough?
I think the complaint was, that I heard, was the lights were too bright and in people's eyes when they're trying to do it.
So the direction of the lights and the brightness.
So what Mr. Recant explained to me is that he would need to, speak to the township engineer. The lights would need to, be measured, So I said, well, maybe you just simply make it an issue.
But they have LED directional lighting for that purpose, to shine down and not out. It's shining out, I think, in people's eyes.
So it's not spillage, you're just saying it should be...
Directional.
Yeah, direction. I think the problem, that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard people say.
So it's not the
One at a time, please.
It's not the candles. It's not that the candles are too intense, it's just the directional. All right, I'll talk to him about that. But he was adamant about, well, I gotta have the borough engineer come out, measure it, see if there's an issue. I said,
One at a time, please, Mr. Chwinsky, yes. Okay.
There's a simple solution, 5,000 pairs of sunglasses for the town, we're good.
Ms. Muller? Oh.
I mean,
Mr. Smith, yes.
Yeah, does it depend, I guess, does it depend on where you're coming from? Because that's an intersection, Rochelle and Essex. I'm trying to find out if maybe it's brighter coming from one side of the gas station and not as bright coming from another side, so. Passaic.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, let's all go to Dairy Queen later. We can drive by and see.
Yeah, hello.
Yes. The other thing is that they will be, they do have the intention to come here before us to file for a convenience store. And
they'd like to add a second
pump island to alleviate traffic from the West Passaic Street entrance so that there's more even flow.
I'm sorry, didn't hear it?
A second pump island to alleviate traffic from West Passaic Street to where everyone enters from to go get gas. Anyway, that's the update. So they'll be approaching us on that, and Mr. Mondello, if you could write back to them about the lighting. It's more of a directional concern than brightness concern. But again, they're going to talk to the engineer. Next up, Ms. Muller and Ms. Holtz came to me during the adjournment. They are prepared to vote for the minutes of January 23rd, which we did not vote for earlier. Mr. Giuliano, I believe Mr. Chwinsky is also able to vote on those.
Mr. Chwinsky is also eligible to vote, being a part of the planning board at the January 23rd meeting. So the three members, Christina Holtz, Christine Muller, and Committeeman Chwinsky, are eligible.
Okay, so at this point, I will make a motion and ask for a second. Thank you, to approve the January 23rd minutes from only the members who are permitted to vote on these minutes. Mr. Giuliano, roll call.
Christina Holtz?
Yes.
Christine Muller?
Yes.
Committeeman Chwinsky?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's
you got to think about that.
All in the affirmative. So, Mr. Giuliano, please put those minutes on the website ASAP.
Absolutely.
Thank you. One more update. Don't run just yet, Mr. Mondello. Okay. Mr. Giuliano has an update on the code books that were requested. Mr. Giuliano?
Yes.
Please update the
So just
members.
briefly, I spoke to a representative from General Code in regards to ordering the books for the members who want a hard copy of the book. They are currently in the process of doing another supplement. So they told me not to put an order in for those books until the final supplement is done, because if we order them now, they will only have the old supplement. They will not have all the new updates that will be in the new supplement, which will be in the next couple of months is what I heard. I'm hoping it's sooner than that. So I can, once again, I bring up the option just for the time being until that supplement is published. If you'd like, I have a binder in the office with just Chapter 185 for the Land Use Board members that do want a booklet/binder in the time being, but it will probably be a couple of months until the supplement is done to where we can go ahead and order it, so that way all the members will have the absolute most up-to-date on the Chapter 185 for the Land Use Board.
Any comments, questions for Mr. Giuliano? Okay. That's the last of the housekeeping updates that I have here. Before we adjourn, does anyone here have any other business that they wish to bring up before we move forward? I thank everyone for tonight. I really appreciate everyone's volunteerism to do this. It's not easy, but thank you all for your time. I'd like to get a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Can I get a second by Crouppen? All those in favor?
Aye.
Noes? All right. Meeting adjourned at 8:20 p.m.